Watch out for cash money, cause we landing down. Money making is my thing, cause I'm trying to be rich, trying to put away meals. That's why I'm in the studio dropping hits, dropping rap after rap like you sell key after key. Backed up by the best fresh, dropping beat after beat. My clique is the hot boys, best believe we so high and dangerous and playing beef with the whole block. No fading us at all, player, cause we roll too deep. With AKs off safety, knocking busters off their feet. I go by the name of BG. I ride on chrome and the 98 Lexi S3. I'll bust it down for baby on this B3. Because I know one thing, he'll do the same for me. We family, cash money is a homie, better get a navy. So if you ever play heavy, look here, it ain't gravy. Don't try to knock me, player, cause I'll leave your head stale. Light you up real good, you will never get well. Cash money is a homie, better get a navy. So if you ever play heavy, for you it ain't gravy. Cash money is a homie, better get a navy. So if you ever play heavy, for you it ain't gravy.
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. It's all dog around this mug. I'm good.
Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, Timothy J. Jones. And yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. Really do appreciate your time. Come on in. And while you're here, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. This is a New Orleans Saints podcast, one of the most interactive Saints podcast that you're ever going to find on YouTube or any platform. I really do appreciate everybody that's filing into the chat right now. Special shout out to you. Special shout out to everybody that's probably listening at work or wherever you are right now. Appreciate that as well. Also want to give a special shout out to everybody that has subscribed to the Gumbo Pot Sports podcast. I've seen some people actually subscribe to the channel. I did a show right here on the State of the Saints podcast on yesterday. If you didn't check it out, I encourage you to do so. But we are trying to get our numbers up over there on the Gumbo Pie Sports podcast, and I will go ahead and put that link down in the chat. So if you have not subscribed to the Gumbo Pie Sports podcast already, I ask that you do so. It's more of a larger I won't say a larger platform, but it is more in depth when it comes to other sports like football, basketball, etc. You know, talk about some of the hottest topics in all the sports. So if you have not already, I just ask that you subscribe to the channel. And I'll go ahead and put that link in the chat. But on this edition of the State of the Saints podcast, we're going to be talking about bright spots for the New Orleans Saints. Players that could possibly be breakout stars in 2024. Like, there's some players for the Saints we already know what they're going to be. We already know who they are because they have been that for I don't know how long. But I'm more focused on some of the younger talent that maybe hasn't really showed us everything that they have, but we're looking forward to seeing what they can bring to the table. Now, this is going to be interactive. This is more of a rapid fire type episode. Of course, we have to have topics, just to have something to talk about. But this is a rapid fire show. So with that, we have to acknowledge individuals that were here first. So Jerry was the first person here. So congratulations to you, Jerry. I just need your information. I'm going to send you over a package courtesy of manscaped.com. That's how we're doing it on the rapid fire episodes of the State of the Saints. So Jerry, email me. I had your information before, but I want to make sure that, I have it again. I know it's been a while since I sent you something. So Jerry will be receiving the package from manscaped.com, a special gift from the fine folks at Manscaped. So shouts out to Jerry. So that's how we do it here on the Rapid Fire episodes. The first person to acknowledge, the show inside of the chat will be a recipient of a prize. Now, that's not going to be on every show because some shows aren't rapid fire. But on the rapid fire episodes, never know. Might get yourself a gift. All right, but let's go ahead and get into it. Let's talk about some of the bright spots for the New Orleans Saints. Let's talk a little bit about it. Let's have this conversation because there are so many talented guys that we can talk about for the New Orleans Saints. They have a lot of talent, very, very young talent. We already know about players like Rashid Shaheed and Chris Olave. And, we know about those guys. We know what they can bring to the table. They have shown that they have big playability. Everybody's excited about players in 2024 like A.T. Perry, Kendre Miller, who you all see on the thumbnail for this episode. He is a bright spot. But it may be somebody that you feel that we aren't talking about. Somebody that you feel like, maybe it's flying under the radar. Me personally, if I'm talking about a breakout player, a player that I'm looking forward to seeing, it might be a guy that a lot of people aren't paying that much attention to, but I think he's going to have a stellar 2024, and that's Brian Bresee. Brian Bresee, to me, really showed flashes last season, and I think that a lot of people weren't really paying that much attention to what Brian Bresee was doing on the field because we were just all upset about the direction of the team and what was going on with Dennis Allen. And, we feeling like, I don't know, they wasn't putting forth their best effort each and every week. But Brian Bresee, to me, is a player that I am looking forward to seeing in 2024. This is a guy, and I'm going to go ahead and read some of his stats off to you. But Brian Bresee always seemed like he was around the football. He has like really good pass rushing abilities, from the interior. When he was at Clemson, he played both inside and outside. His stat line, he had 12 solo tackles and 4.5 sacks. So that was kind of him being a rotational guy. He got some starts, during the season, but he didn't always start off as the starter for the New Orleans Saints. So him having 4.5 sacks, kind of like in that, rotational role. Imagine what he can actually be, when he's actually going to be in the starting rotation. I'm looking at his stats. He played in all 17 games, and he didn't start in either one of them. So he had 4.5 sacks, and he was never a starter going into the game. So in 2024, he's more than likely going to be the starting interior lineman for the New Orleans Saints. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Brian Bresee is going to do being in that starting rotation. I would not be surprised. If Brian Bresee has double-digit sacks in 2024. I mean, he is a very, very athletic interior guy. And I just feel like his personality is starting to shine through a little bit. I feel like in a few years, he's probably going to have that C on his chest. He's going to be a captain of the team. He has all the leadership qualities that you want. He has that motor that never seems to run cold. And I think that a lot of Saints fans aren't really talking about him because, of course, we're trying to figure out what Peyton Turner is going to do, what Carl Granderson is going to look like. Will Cam be able to bounce back? But Brian Bresee is the breakout guy for me. That's on the defensive side of football. Offensively is the guy that was on the thumbnail, and that was Kendre Miller. Kendre Miller is a very good running back. I feel like every time he touched the ball, you can see some of the promise that he has. I think at TCU, the fact that they didn't use him in a passing game, people don't really understand that he can catch the football. There were a couple of passes that he caught. You probably don't even see wide receivers catching some of those passes. I can remember him running a wheel route down the left sideline, and a quarterback, I'm not sure if it was Derek Carr or not, but they dropped it in a bucket, and he caught it. Like I could think of a few wide receivers that couldn't make that catch. But also we know about the last time we saw Kendre Miller was against the Falcons, and he had a really good game. And it stood out because you had Jamal Williams playing in that game and you had Kendre Miller. And it was kind of like one of those situations where, you looking at Jamal Williams and on paper, he was supposed to be the backup running back. But if you don't know anything about Saints football and you're just watching a game, you'll probably think to yourself, why isn't this guy number 25 the backup running back? Why is it Jamal Williams? No disrespect, but that's the way that it looked. I am looking forward to seeing what Kendre Miller can do. He already has that NFL running back type body. Like when guys first come into the league, they're a little bit small. They still have that young man body. But then around 1 or 2 years, you start to see them develop into their man body because of the strength and conditioning and stuff like that. Kendre Miller, as soon as he put on a New Orleans Saints uniform in his rookie season, looked like he was a 3 or 4 year vet. He has really good pad level. He's a really strong guy, and he can make really good decisions. I think that the Saints transitioning from that classic West Coast offense that they had throughout the years, going into this wide zone, I think that people are going to see how intelligent he is when it comes to running the football and some of the decisions that he is going to make. I think the combination of Alvin Kamara and Kendre Miller can be a great dynamic in 2024. I think that both guys have something to prove. If you're Alvin Kamara, you're trying to prove that you're not washed like people trying to make it out. Putting you in the top 15 instead of the top 10 of running backs. You got something to prove there. And then you also have Kendre Miller, who was dealing with his fair share of injuries, stemming back from when he was at TCU. He had the knee injury coming out of college, and then he had an injury when he was playing in the league in his rookie season. So he was in and out of the lineup there. So he has something to prove. I'm looking forward to seeing what Kendre Miller can do. And hopefully the New Orleans Saints can utilize this rushing attack by using Kendre, using Alvin, and even using Jamal and Taysom as well. So 2 guys I'm looking forward to. On the defensive side of football, Brian Bresee, and on offense, Kendre Miller. Feel free to put in the comments who you are looking forward to seeing and why. Who do you look forward to seeing in 2024? Who is your breakout star for the New Orleans Saints? Jerry says, State of the Saints podcast already emailed it. Check your email after the stream. And again, thank you so much. Well, thank you, Jerry, for being here. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the support. And thank you for, being the first person to comment. Like I said, the rapid fire episodes we're going to be doing throughout the season. We're going to be giving away, different things. So you never know, so make sure when you roll up in here, let us know that you're present and accounted for. You might get yourself a gift like Jerry is going to get really soon. Says, not Phil and Miller. It could be DC. I don't trust DC with any Saints running back. I don't know what Derek Carr has to do with Kendre Miller. It's not like, he's blocking for him or anything like that. I think it's more so about the offensive line that determines what type of success Kendre Miller can have. But I just think that when the way that the wide zone is structured, and if you have yourself a running back that's extremely talented, that has really good pad level, a level elusivity, I think that you can find levels of success. I know the easiest thing and the most low hanging of fruit right now is bashing Derek Carr and saying Derek Carr ain't going to do this and Derek Carr going to be the reason the Saints don't do that. But I'm looking at guys being better than they were last season or taking steps forward, right, instead of steps back. And I just think that Kendre Miller is one of those guys that kind of fit that mold. I'm not saying that he's going to lead the league in rushing yards. I'm just saying you're actually going to notice his production on the offensive side of the football. I say Olave and Shaheed are going to have their best season respectively in their third year. Well, to me, I just feel like both of those guys are on an uptick. So if they have their best season, that's great, but it wouldn't be a surprise. To me, it would be a surprise if I don't know if Kendre Miller has like 6 or 7 touchdowns. It would be a surprise to me, like if A.T. Perry led the team in touchdown receptions or something. Like these two individuals with Shaheed and Olave, like you expect for them to be an integral part of the offense. You expect for them to be, you expect for them to like put forth that effort and put forth, that energy to be the number one and number two receivers on the team. So I can see it. I definitely feel like they probably going to have their best season statistically. I think they're going to have their best numbers, and I just think that because of Clint Kubiak, they're probably going to be put in the best position to succeed. So yeah, I do agree with you on that. But it wouldn't be a surprise if those two guys, take step forwards in 2024. Says I'm looking very forward to seeing A.T. Perry. Not expecting a lot of yards from him, but I think he could be that red zone threat. Yeah, I think when it comes to A.T. Perry, he's a big, receiver, 6'5", about 213 pounds. I feel like he can get a little bit more physical. He does win those 50-50 balls, but I think the one thing that's probably going to keep him off the field if he does not work on this is the blocking. We know that the wide zone, you got to be able to block as a receiver. So I expect for him to do some great things. I expect for the New Orleans Saints to, maybe put him in some positions where he could win his matchup. But I think that he's going to have a solid season. I don't look at him like some individuals were. Like I think I seen on CBS Sports they did players that are going to make a big impact in 2024. I don't know if it's going to be a huge impact, but I can see a Willie Snead type, maybe a Robert Meacham like season. Like where he's not the number one guy, but when you call his number, he makes a play. Like we know back in the day, Marcus Colston was the guy, right? But with that flea flicker, Drew Brees throwing down the field, we know Robert Meacham probably going to come down with the football. I can see A.T. Perry kind of serving in that role, but you need those type of guys too, because I don't look at him as a number one or number two receiver. So I can see him having a solid season. I can see that. After show boy on the live day until I move to NOLA, and I'm looking forward to AK Salas and the haters. Yeah, me too. We talked about that on the last episode. Him not being in the top 10, and why is that? I mean, we all know why. I mean, y'all heard the whole spiel. If you were on the live on last episode, you heard where I stood when it comes to Alvin Kamara, and and some of the takes that people have on him. We know how it go. Let's see. I'm ready to see that defense with Kool-Aid and Chase Young. Yeah, hopefully those guys can get out the starting blocks. Chase Young, he has something to prove. He's only on a 1-year deal. You got Kool-Aid McKinstry coming in, 2nd round pick, should have been a 1st round pick. Some people felt like him falling to the Saints was, pretty, it was a good thing for the Saints. And he's a guy that you can utilize. So hopefully those guys can hit the ground running. TJ, what gift are you giving for the first lady? Hopefully a cruise. What gift are you giving for the first lady? What first lady I'm talking about? What we talking about here? Look, what I'm doing is, on these rapid fire episodes, Linda, like the first person that makes that comments, they receive a gift. Like some shows, like I say, the long drawn out podcast episodes, those are just regular podcast episodes. But rapid fire episodes like this, we're going to be giving away gifts throughout the season, right? So you never know when we're going to, do those rapid fire shows. But when they do pop up, I'm just, the first person that's in the chat going to end up, getting a gift. And we talking about first, are you referring to yourself as the first lady? Oh, my wife. I just want to know. Now, my anniversary is in a few weeks. I can never forget that because my wedding anniversary is the day after my birthday. So I was born on August 8th and my wedding anniversary on August 9th. So I don't know. But anybody that rolls up first or on there, definitely will receive a gift on our rapid fire episode. Just something that I want to just let everybody know that I appreciate them. I appreciate, the support. So, and I appreciate people being interactive because a lot of people, they look at the shows, and I appreciate that. But you have a lot of people that are interactive and, and make the show what it is. And I appreciate. Salute TJ. Don't sleep on the impact that linebacker from Kansas City, Willie Gay, will have on the defense. Well, yeah, I mean, everybody talks about Willie Gay and talks about how, talented he is, how fast he is, how instinctive he is. I think that, he'll play a huge role in what the Saints are doing in 2024. Some people are looking at it like a linebacker battle between him and Pete Werner, but I think both guys will see the field. I think that both guys will play a huge part, along with Demario Davis, and providing a spark at the linebacker position this season. Dolph, the doors are open, so you already know. Come on in. Let's see. Also, maybe Willie Gay. Yeah, we just mentioned him. The first lady in the chat. Oh, nah. Look. I don't care if you're the first lady or the first guy. Whoever comes in this thing first is going to end up getting a gift. We don't discriminate over here. Whoever first, first come, first serve. This could be a rando person that's coming in. Whoever's first in the chat when we have these rapid fire episodes will receive a gift. So shouts out to the fine folks at manscaped.com. Been working with them for about 3 or 4 seasons now. So they give me all type of cool stuff. And a lot of stuff, I enjoy, using. I mean, the products are top notch, but sometimes they send me like 3 and 4 of the same things, like. So want to go ahead and give one of those gift boxes that they gave me. Gonna go ahead and give it to Jerry, man. Appreciate it. Let's see the Rob Star report. Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, shouts out, man. Shouts out to the Rob Star right there. Look, man, I'm looking forward to a lot of the things that's happening with the state of the Saints. A lot of things that are going on. I mean, I'm just completely blessed, man. We started here, back in 2018, and now we're expanding. We're working with Bleacher Report. Sports Talk with Timothy J. Jones on Friday. We got a show going on over there. Got Roundtable Sports that I just signed up with. Going to be doing Roundtable talking about the NFC South this season. And then you got the Gumbo Pie Sports podcast. I mean, there's several different things that are going on right now, and I'm looking forward to it. Roundtable Sports is something that we're just adding on. It's a platform, a network that just hitting the ground running this season, and I'm extremely excited to be a part of the team, to be talking in NFC South and representing for the New Orleans Saints, talking NFC South football. So a lot of things going on, man. Great year so far, man. I'm just trying to be the best out there. Like, no disrespect to anybody, but I feel like your boy be getting slept on a lot. Like I really do, man. So I got to turn it up so people can know. Your boy ain't no joke. Let people know that we know what we talking about over here. So, and that's what I'm on right now. So shouts out to Roundtable Sports. Looking forward to working with them. NFC South, talking NFC South football. And Rob Star, shouts out to him, man. Appreciate you, man, for stopping by. Thank you for that. Says shouts out to Kay Hudson. My mom says, what do the ladies get? I think that's what she is asking. Oh, okay. She kind of, I didn't really understand what was going on here. But, the first lady in the chat, like I said, I don't care if it's first lady, first guy, whoever the first name that comes through ends up getting a gift on the rapid fire episode. Because I don't want people to be like, roll up on every episode, and then I'll run out of stuff that I can give out throughout the year. Man, I was here first. Like on rapid fire episodes, that's when we're going to be giving out gifts. All right. So, just make sure that you roll up. Make sure you roll up. No more leaking quarterbacks with Gay. Let's see. Dallin Hoker list could be potentially limitless. Yeah. I mean, that's a guy that people are looking at, the rookie out of Colorado State. I'm looking forward to seeing what Dallin Hoker can do. But we love ourselves a mystery guy at the tight end position. I mean, come on, man. Like we love boy, we love ourselves a mystery guy, like a tight end, boy, because we be looking for that next Jimmy Graham, boy. We be looking for him very, very hard, boy. I think it was Alizé Mack at one time. We was looking at him, man. He gonna be the truth, man. Lucas Krull a couple of years ago, man. We got something there. Like, boy, we be looking for that next Jimmy Graham, boy. We be looking for that next George Kittle in the Saints uniform, boy. Well, I mean, boy. Well, the most sought out position for the New Orleans Saints every single year is the tight end position. The next big thing always seems to be the tight end from Saints fans. Hey, TJ, to my knowledge, the guy Holker is a talented guy. It's possible this guy has the potential to be our guy or future guy. Real curious about him because we haven't had good tight ends play in a minute. See what I'm talking about? Like I say, man, like a big tight end, 6'5", 250, 260, boy, count us in. But I don't know, man. Dallin Holker, he might be that guy. I mean, you keep on trying to find that one special player, and eventually you'll roll up on him, right? So press that like button, Chad. Yeah, I would really appreciate that, man. Come on, man. Help your boy get into the algorithm. Help me get into the algorithm, man. Like, just hit the like button when you file in. That stuff matters, right? If you like the State of the Saints podcast, if I make you laugh and you like the content, hit the like button. I mean, that's how this show is going to grow. That's how it's going to get into the algorithm. You already know, man, your boy got a battle against all these other people with names, So if you want to help out, and you want people to know about the State of the Saints and help the show grow, hit that like button. I swear, Holman Awanui was that guy. Who, man? I mean, he had some success. I don't want to say he didn't end up being everything we thought he was going to be, but he made some plays. He made some plays, man. But he wasn't in it. I think honestly, Benjamin Watson was like the last like true tight end that you can just count on consistently for the New Orleans Saints like that. I mean, Josh Hill in the running game, like, yeah, you can count on him, but I'm talking about in the passing game. Yeah, I mean, Jared Cook, like, I understand, like, the name Jared Cook, it just brings up all type of animosity and anger and vitriol among Saints fans. But, man, Jared Cook, man, he was making some plays, man. He was making some plays. Like, I guess, because he fumbled that football on third down, and now all of a sudden, like, he just the worst thing. Since I don't know, since COVID came through in 2020. But I mean, Jared Cook made some plays. Benjamin Watson to me was the last like real steady, we can count on him in game out type tight end that the Saints had. Like, it's been a minute since the Saints, got some real consistent tight end play. Not so much about what we felt like, oh man, if you just give this dude this, if you just give this dude that, like, now I'm talking about like consistent tight end play. It's probably been Benjamin Watson the last time you actually seen that. If you're just joining us, come on and, if you're commenting, interacting with us, feel free to put who do you feel is going to be the breakout star in 2024 for the New Orleans Saints. Don't give me somebody that's already been, great. I'm talking about somebody that's considered a dark horse. If they're a dark horse, then put them in the chat. I don't want to hear, well, I think Chris Olave going to be a break. Now, Chris Olave is not a breakout star. He is a star. All right. Give me somebody that you feel like is on the cusp. Just give him an opportunity. He probably came to training camp a little bit swollen, came to camp a little bit, a little bit more physical. Like, give me a name that you feel like is going to be a breakout star and going to be a breath of fresh air for the New Orleans Saints in 2024. Fun fact, since I think 2006, the Saints actually led in touchdown receptions by a tight end position overall. LOL. Maybe that ended last year, not sure. Let's see. It's because Cook talked bad about the Saints when he went to the Chargers. Well, I don't know, man. I'll put it like this. You may have talked bad about the Saints, but you got to ask yourself why. It's not like people were like, oh, man, the Saints got rid of Jared Cook. They told that boy, don't let the doorknob hit his ass on the way out. Like, that's what they said. So, come on, man. You can't be sitting up here talking bad about making a diss album about him, and then all of a sudden you think he about to sing blame pleasantries about you. Like, Saints fans were angry at this dude, and saying some very, very unkind things about Jared Cook, and made it seem like this dude was just the biggest scrub on this side of the Mississippi. Dude had a bad game, made a bad play, made a mistake, but Jared Cook was a decent tight end for the Saints. He made plays. I still remember that game against the San Francisco 49ers where the Saints lost 48-46. Jared Cook had 2 receptions, 2 touchdowns. They basically had to knock this dude out of the game. Awuzie with a big hit in the end zone can cuss this dude. Jared Cook was virtually unstoppable in that game. He was a straight up monster. So can you imagine if Jared Cook probably would have stayed in that game? Can you imagine? Like, they probably would have had to roll some coverage off to him, so somebody else would have been eaten. So I'm not going to sit up here and just say Jared Cook was just absolutely garbage. Like, he just had a game that people remember that was just, an egregious play. They just remember an egregious play on his part, and we already know. I always say, for better or for worse, if you love New Orleans, you love the Saints, you love them, they're going to love you back. But if you do something or say something, they'll never forgive you for it. Like, and this is one of those cases. It's like people just completely forget about all of the plays that Jared Cook made. I can remember that catch that he made down the sidelines, the left sidelines against the Tennessee Titans, like late in the season where the Saints needed to win that football game in order for them to get a top seeding position in the NFC. I can remember this dude like making catches in the back of the end zone, like stirring it up. Man, don't sleep on that man, Jared Cook. I know he had a bad game, against Tampa, and he fumbled that football, but don't make it seem like that dude wasn't balling for the Saints. There was some games where, he made some mistakes. I can remember him getting into it with Drew Brees against the Kansas City Chiefs on the sidelines, but at the end of the day, man, this man was balling. Like, I think about post Jimmy Graham, Benjamin Watson and Jared Cook are the 2 tight ends to me that have stood out that you can say made some plays consistently. That may not be popular opinion, but Jared Cook made plays for the Saints. Football fans can be very unforgiving. One bad play and your name goes on a death note, no matter how much good you've done. That is true. That is absolutely true. And New Orleans Saints fans are very, very unforgiving at times. They're very unforgiving. New Orleans fans in general are very, very unforgiving. Don't understand all the hate for Jared Cook, like Breeze ain't throw how many interceptions that game. Come on now. His fumble played a part, but it ain't all his fault now. Yeah, I mean, look, there's a huge, like, there's some blame pie that can go around, Brandon. I agree with what you're saying. There's a lot of blame that can indeed go around. So we can't be pretending like, like the Saints just played lights out and Jared Cook just screwed it up. It was a nip and tuck game. And yeah, it was one of those games where the first team makes a mistake, more than likely they're going to lose. So that was just one of those cases. After Cook got concussed against the 49ers, he wasn't the same. He was killing San Fran. Yeah, he was killing them boys, man. He was killing them. Awuzie hit that ball with that big hit, knocked him out of the game. I don't care what anybody says, man. That was direct. They know they ain't have no answer for him. Your boy was eating like he rode up to Ryan's on a Sunday afternoon after church. That boy was eating, and they couldn't do nothing with him. Like, they were just like they caught the 49ers at a good time. You caught them like with a young Fred Warner. You know what I'm saying? I want to say one of their star linebackers, was out at the time. Homie was eating. Homie was eating in that game. And I honestly feel like, dude, they ain't have no answer for him. They ain't have no answer for him. They to me, that was they had to take Homie out. They had to take him out. I respect your opinion, big dog, but me personally, I just don't think he's been it. I know he has potential, but hasn't been it. Who we talking about? Who we talking about here? We talking about Juwan Johnson? Okay, I see you in 615 getting into. I'll let y'all boys have it. But yeah, I mean, Juwan Johnson, nah, he has not been it. You know, that's one of those guys, in my opinion, been making it off what we feel he could be. I'm not knocking it now because I feel like it would be hypocrisy on my part if I sit up here and say that he's not the part, because I constantly preach here on the State of the Saints podcast about giving guys opportunities to grow. And I also have said that we can't look at these players and what they've been over the last couple of years because we know that this offense has been trash. I mean, P. Carmichael has been awful as an offensive play caller. So it's kind of hypocritical of me to sit up here and say, oh, he's not it. You know, but at the same time, you expect more out of him, you know, and when opportunities present themselves, he made plays. He has made plays. So maybe it's about, you know, dialing it up, doing something a little bit differently offensively. Maybe you'll be able to see what he can actually have. We got to be very careful, folks, about judging some of these guys that have been in this scheme for the last couple of years under P. Carmichael, because I do think that we have like this false sense of what these guys actually are. We know coordinators matter. We know schemes matter. We know that if you have the right coordinator and you put these guys in positions to succeed, then you can see what they really have. I just think that we can't sit up here and talk about Pete Carmichael and what he wasn't. But at the same time, we want to sit up here and criticize these players for being something, to me, that they're not. Give them an opportunity in the right scheme and somebody that can actually see their talent and be able to utilize their skill set. Then we can have this conversation. But when your team is averaging 15 and 19 points a game and you have like these stretches where you can't even get the ball into the end zone because the play calling is so god awful, no motion in a 2023 modern day NFL. I'm not talking 2024. I'm talking about what transpired last year. When you're not evolving with the times, like how can you blame a player? So it's kind of hard. Like Juwan Johnson has not been what you need him to be. No, he has not. But you also have to put it into context. We have to make sure we are talking context when we're talking about some of these players, lack of production or not being utilized or not making plays the way that we expect for them to make. So just want to put that out there. I hope Lattimore can break out this season being injury-free. Yeah, I think that if he stays healthy, I think that the Saints will be in a really good position because he was playing some of his best football of his entire career last season before he got hurt. So it's unfortunate that he did get hurt, but, at the end of the day, you got to stay healthy and got to be on the field. But, I mean, we know what Lattimore is to this team. I'm going to take a few more, and then we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. Like I said, this is just a rapid-fire show, which means that the show won't be long. I stroll back up. Let's see. Howden could be good. Depends on if we decide to add a safety. Well, I think Jordan Howden probably, will give you a little bit of something. I mean, he showed some flashes last season. But let's see what he can do in 2024. That's a good pick right there. Not too many people are talking about Jordan Howden. Hopefully, we all will when the season kicks off. Cook fumbling the ball in the divisional round against Tampa. Yeah, see, I mean, you see how it just incites some type of rage inside of you? And it just completely just erases all of the things that he did that were positive in the Saints uniform. Carmichael, the reason Kamara had an off year last season and the year before that. There's a reason why in 2021, that was one of his best seasons and he was considered a top 3 running back. Then after that season, when Sean Payton decided to step down and go to TV, P. Carmichael around calling plays with his no innovative self. And they got Alvin Kamara out here looking like he's slow. Man, come on, man. We know Alvin Kamara is the truth. Me personally, TJ, my main concern is the O-line. For real, that's what I'm concerned about. I think a lot of people are concerned about the offensive line, but you have to give credit to the Saints. And, they didn't dig into the crates. They didn't try to go back and try to find the guys that been culprits of why this offensive line has been trash over the last couple of years. They didn't try to go back and when they was having issues trying to find a guard, they ain't go and get Andres Pete. They decided that they wanted to find some guys that, fit a different mold. And I can respect that. And hopefully some of these moves that they have made pay dividends. Because Lord knows you're not going to win anything if you don't have an offensive line that can hold up and be able to protect Derek Carr, because we know how Derek Carr rolls. When he feels pressure, he starts to get happy feet, even when there are no defenders around him. When you speed up that clock in his head, he automatically just feels like pressure is around him. And like that old saying Sam Darnold made classic, he starts seeing ghosts. So hopefully the line can hold up. If Kubiak can get half out of Derek Carr, what Slowick did for Stroud, cool. Well, look, I think as long as that offensive line hold up, you should be okay. But, them putting the emphasis on the run is also going to help Derek Carr. And finally, I'm glad we finally moved on from Carmichael. Appreciated what he did, but his time expired a while ago. He was here for way too long. What was it, 16 years? Yeah, look, he was here for 16 years, but look, he was more of a figurehead. I know some people want to defend Pete Carmichael, and I know that Drew Brees have come out and said that they wouldn't be what they were without Pete Carmichael, and he's probably right. I say this all the time, and I've said this on several occasions, and some of you probably heard me say this. Sometimes, guys are good at their jobs, but you can't look at them for being a play caller or, being that guy that can be able to make those adjustments in the game. Pete Carmichael probably was good in the role that he served the New Orleans Saints throughout the years. A lot of people look at Pete Carmichael as a research guy, a guy that can burn that midnight oil and see some of those plays that, a team made last Thursday night or last Sunday night and actually incorporate that into the Saints offense. But you also had Sean Payton out there calling the plays, and you also had Drew Brees out there pulling the trigger. So sometimes, look, somebody got to polish up the rifles. Somebody got to make sure that the pistol is clean for the duel. You get what I'm saying? Like there's a reason why they used to have the gunsmith, that was shining up the rifles and the pistols before the big duel took place. Right. And that's what Pete Carmichael was. He probably was the research guy. He probably was the midnight oil guy. And honestly, he probably was the guy that was paying attention to details because he actually had time to do so. This is not a knock on Pete Carmichael. Like, some people aren't good at certain things. You can be good at one particular aspect of a thing, but that don't mean that you're good at the other thing, right? I mean, he's probably good at doing the research, probably good at coming up with plays and concepts, probably really good at organizing and coming up with structure. But when it comes to trying to execute it and trying to, play the game, tick for tat, checkers or chess, not that good. You're not that good, but he's probably good at preparation. And I think that's probably, what Drew Brees meant. It's one of those situations where, you need everybody to play their role in order for you to be successful. That's just how it goes sometimes. Like, some people may be good at one thing, they're not good at the other, but the person that's next to them probably picks up the slack where you lack. When it comes to Pete Carmichael calling plays game in, game out, week in, week out, he was not very good. I think that Pete Carmichael, to me, is content with the job that he had with the Denver Broncos right now. And if somebody never asked him to call plays, it would be too soon. If they never asked him to call plays again, it'll be too soon for him. I don't feel like, he wants to do that. I think he wants to be in a consulting role. I think he doesn't want the spotlight. I think he doesn't want to be the focal point. He's a behind the scenes guy. He's the Russell Simmons. Y'all remember Russell Simmons on Def Comedy Jam? Every host used to bring him out at the end of the show. Thank y'all. God bless. Good night. But he was the one that was all that. He was the one that's making it all possible. But what you seen for Russell Simmons? You ain't see him up there crying to crack jokes. You ain't see him trying to be what Joe Torre was, or what Martin was, or what Mark Curry was. Where my OGs at? Y'all watch Def Comedy Jam. They used to always gave a shout out to Kid Capri that was on the ones and twos. And then at the end of the show, you had Russell Simmons come out. What would Russell Simmons say? Thank y'all. God bless. Good night. That was him. And that's P. Carmichael. P. Carmichael is the thank y'all. God bless. Good night guy. But behind the scenes, he's making some things move and shake. But don't expect for him to sit up there and telling jokes. Because honestly, the way he was calling plays, they damn sure wouldn't be funny. But thank you all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Really do appreciate it. Much love to you. Really do appreciate your time. I ask that you hit the like button. I'm going to continue to nail this until y'all start doing it. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Help the channel grow. You help the channel grow by hitting the like button. And also, if you can subscribe to the Gumbo Pot Sports podcast, looking forward to the series that I'm actually putting together, 32 teams in 32 days. We're going to be breaking down every single NFL team for 32 days, right? We did episode 1. We focused on the New York Football Giants. Episode number 2 on today, that's going to be coming out really soon. We're going to be focusing on the Washington Commanders. So Jaden Daniels, Heisman Trophy winner out of LSU. He's trying to bring some legitimacy back to the DC area. Can he do it in 2024? You have to tune in to Gumbo Pot Sports podcast to find out. We're going to be talking about what they can do better, what they need to work on, what they brought in. So if you're into just sports in general, I think the Gumbo Pot Sports podcast will be for you. So I put the link inside of the comments. Hit that link, subscribe to the channel, and I really do appreciate it. And shouts out to everybody here. But of course, there's some people out there that's going to be straggling, probably late, probably doing something. But shouts out to them after show boys.
Shouts out to them after show boys. Shouts out to them after show boys. They be tweet and be posting. They be tweet and be posting. They be tweet. Yeah, them after show boys. They be tweet and be posting. They be tweet and be posting. They be tweet. Yeah, them after show boys.
Shouts out to all the after show boys, after show girls out there. Really do appreciate y'all. But this has been the State of the Saints podcast, and my name is Timothy J. Jones. You can check out previous episodes right here on YouTube, or you can check out previous episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM. You can follow me on X at TJAYJones8. Thank you all so much. Have a good morning, noon, night, whenever you're checking out this podcast. And like always, all I got to say is, who dat?
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. It's all dog around this mug. I'm good.